Hi, everyone. It is time to walk. Got to walk every single day, build those collateral vessels. If you have peripheral artery disease, that poor circulation in your legs, walking is truly the best medicine. It is the only one with level of 1A evidence that actually says it helps improve your symptoms. So I know it seems counterintuitive that if it hurts when you walk, to walk more and walk further and walk faster. But that is the whole theory behind walking as medicine for poor circulation. It's if you walk and you're pushing through that pain, you're telling your body, hey, dude, do that. You got to keep up. We need more blood vessels. Grow those blood vessels, dilate, grow like tree roots around those blockages and get me that blood flow. So you got to push through. As one of the doctors told one of my patients the other day, Kevin, he actually said, "Suck it up, Buttercup." And I said, I thought that was the only thing I said. And he said it to our patient in the joking way. And so she took it the way it was. But he kind of nudged her. He's like, "Suck it up, Buttercup. You can do it." And I thought that was just kind of funny. Some people would be insulted, but she has a really good rapport with her doctor. And so she said, I guess I have to start pushing through the pain a little bit more, and start growing those collateral vessels. So now she's on a mission and she has 3 months to do it before her next checkup. So she is going to be watching on YouTube today, and she wants some great tips on how to grow those collateral vessels. And I told her, you're in the right place, because I hear a little birdie told me that someone has not only a digital version of their PAD training book, but it just became available in paperback. Dr. Kevin Morgan.
Yeah, I just put it up yesterday.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about it.
I was thinking about Buttercup, and it reminded me of what my Ironman coach told me years ago. He said, Kevin, this is training camp, not complaining camp. So I got on with the job. Anyway, yeah, the training plan, it's really designed for people just starting out, don't know quite what to do. And of course, the first chapter is on grieving the past and letting go of the past before you have these PAD pain symptoms, and just getting on with the job. So basically, yes, suck it up, Buttercup is about right. You want to take the pain level to an appropriate level. So that training plan is based on my 11 years of PAD and 25 years of Ironman training and a lifetime of body movement training. My background is a veterinarian, so I have some medical training too. And so, yeah, it's out in paperback, and that's what it's about. I also put up a short video today on on my own YouTube channel, Fit Old Dog YouTube channel, about how to really explain how to use your feet to pump blood through your feet. And so I put that up as an explanation. So yeah, this is a continuing process. You do have to fight the pain, but you want to make sure you don't change function. So if your feet start slapping the ground and you feel you're not moving normally, you really have to stop and let blood get into those muscles in your calf and down in your feet, because you don't want to be moving abnormally. You can actually bruise your feet. And of course, that would only set you back. So, yep, having a training plan is good, not necessarily mine, but it's good to have a strategy as how you plan to move forward. Once the doctors and surgeons have done all they can, here you are at home. They've said they've done what they can, but it hurts to move around. So what are you going to do? And that is what I faced 11 years ago, and what everybody on this site is facing. You're sitting there looking at the world, wondering, what can I do? Well, you can do what you make yourself do. You'd be surprised. Okay, Kim, is that enough?
Yes. But people can go on Amazon, give them how they can search for it on Amazon. I mean, I usually just search peripheral artery disease training and your book comes right up.
Yeah, the title is Peripheral Artery Disease Training Plan. And it's under Kevin Thomas Morgan. That's my moniker on Amazon. It's available as an ebook. And also I put out the paperback yesterday. I haven't even seen a copy of it myself yet. I ordered it and it'll probably arrive here on Friday in Missouri, where I will be until Monday. And we'll see what it looks like. I decided to have color photos because It costs a bit more to publish, but some of the stuff in there really needed color. I've got an example of Ukrainian soldiers in wheelchair races showing what they can
Oh,
do.
no way.
Yes, and also have a picture. These I bought from Shutterstock. A picture of a man. I think he was lost his use of his lower legs in Iraq, and he is in a race using those spring orthotics. He's actually racing, having lost both legs below the knee. And I see people like that go by me. Or used to in Ironman races when I was doing full distance. Now I'm doing half Ironman because of P.A.D, but I'll beat the damn thing if I can. And they would go by me with one leg in a spring-shaped orthotic. So it really does come down to grit, deciding what you can do it intelligently. There's more to this than getting the blood through your feet. You need to try and run with low impact. That helps. And all these things are explained in my videos if you don't want to pay for books. But they're also explained in more detail in my books, which are on they're all on my website, inspirationalselfhelpbooks.com. But unlike Kim, I always feel awkward promoting myself, and Kim has no problem with that.
Well, because it's not about me. And so if you think about it, it's not about you. It's about helping people and it's about them and it's about providing a resource that you know is going to help people. Then it makes it easier because it's just, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with helping people to improve their quality of life. And when you think about it that way, I think it changes the entire game. It changes your way of thinking. It changes the way that you look at it. You're not promoting something. You're sharing incredible resources that people find valuable. And one of those, and we'll get to some questions in just a moment, but I want to bring up the video that you did put on your website. So if you want to walk us through this, walk us through walking. Here's your remote blood pumping stations.
Yeah, the tricky part is to explain to people that when you lift your feet off the ground, you want to spread your toes, let the blood into your feet, which are relaxed. And then when your feet land on the ground, which they have to do gently, everything is gentle. And then you grasp the ground gently by flexing your whole foot, your toes and your whole foot. It's like kind of gently pulling yourself along. And so this is going on inside my shoes. And here I'm trying to demonstrate it with bare feet, which I filmed when I came out of the pool after a swim.
That was helpful.
Basically, you are spreading your toes when your foot is high and relaxed, and then you are grasping the ground. Oh, that's the stats from my 5K walk the other day. I just recorded it, and you can see how I kept going there, constantly keeping my pain level at a 4 or a 3. There's the book, and it's designed for what I call P.A.D. heroes. And anybody who's here fighting the pain and not giving up is a hero in my book. I don't see myself as one. I just see myself as an old guy putting one foot in front of the other, as you see in the video.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. That's exactly right. So, yeah, that was just, some people seem to not quite understand what I'm doing. And it is rather odd. You can learn to master it by watching my videos and doing the P.A.D. 100 exercise. Once you get the P.A.D. 100 down, which is a video where you can follow me doing it, now I do this without even thinking. I don't think about it. I mean, it reminds me of when I was doing a long bike ride a while ago in a training camp. And we were about, it was a 600-mile ride in 5 days on bikes in a small peloton. And I remember one time around about day 3, I glanced down at my legs and there they are spinning away. And it was like it wasn't me. It was like when you drive your car and you don't remember driving home. It's like it drove itself. So you change these techniques and you make them subconscious or conditioned reflexes, and it has dramatically improved blood flow through my feet, enabling me actually to increasingly run, which is my real goal, with a completely blocked peripheral popliteal artery in my right leg. So, okay, that's that latest video. It's very short.
Yeah, this is like the Pilates 100, right? So you're
Yeah,
talking about the P.A.D. 100.
yeah, I took Pilates training years ago, and from Tara House, a friend of mine, and the Pilates 100 really kicks your core. It's really hard exercise. I'm thinking the PAD 100 is not a bad comparison. There I compare the movement to that of a diaphragm pump. So you're trying to turn your feet into pumps. You want to pump the blood through your feet. And most of us have forgotten we have feet. We stuff them in our shoes and forget they're there. They're actually very agile and able to do many things if you let them get on with their
Oops.
work. So that's it. So if you don't want to
There
buy
you go.
books, you can watch the
So
videos.
there's your PAD 100.
Yeah. So you're converting your feet into remote blood pumping stations. People think their heart pumps blood through a bunch of inert blood vessels in their body and that their heart is the only pump. That is not true. Your body is full of pumps, probably trillions of pumps, at least billions of pumps of various shapes and sizes. But every artery in your body acts as a pump. Every muscle contracting around veins in your legs or elsewhere acts as a pump because the veins have valves. So the whole system is a bunch of highly complex pumps of various types. I mean, simple kinetic pumps like your heart, but also osmotic pumps down in the capillaries. And so keeping your body moving on all levels, eating healthy, partying from time to time, of course, but not too often, and eating, good healthy food. I think for PAD, not smoking is a good thing, but take your time about that. If it's very stressful to do that, just take your time. More importantly, keep moving. It's really important to move, especially your feet. I would say of the things I've studied to fight my own PAD since 2014 has been this moving of my feet. But I combine that with whole body movement, good posture, and all the other tricks that are in my
Yeah.
books.
And so when I open it up, I know Ginger is just joining us. Ginger, you had a couple questions you were posting. You're new to our community, and you're excited about improving your exercise regimen. So if you want to unmute, you're welcome to jump in and ask Kevin Morgan your questions. Mike, Patty, Douglas, also welcome to join us in conversation, share your walking story, ask any questions that you might have of Kevin, which I think is really important.
By the way,
So
my name was Ginger. When I was younger, I had kind of auburn ginger hair. Now you can see I have a little bit of white hair, but I was known as Ginger in our water polo team. I played water polo for about 6, 7
yep,
years in my teens, and I was known as Ginger. So it takes me back to some fond memories of days gone by.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ginger says she doesn't have a microphone, so Ginger, you can go ahead. You can actually just type your questions in the chat, and we'll definitely get to them as well. Um, and so, while you're doing that, while you're typing in the questions, as Josh is letting people know, you can also on our YouTube channel, if you can take a moment, like the video, and subscribe to our channel for other great content like this. It would help us out a lot. It would help get the message out further and faster to so many more people who may not even know they have peripheral artery disease, may have leg cramps, may have leg pain, not know why. And if we can get this video out further and faster to let them know, hey, it might be poor circulation and there is something that you can do about it, which is walking as medicine. That would be absolutely amazing. We do have a walking app that you can use to help you in your program. It is through the Global PAD Association. It is the only app that's available as a structured program and measures your claudication time and measures your time to rest. Those are the two most important times for people who have intermittent claudication, meaning that when you walk, you get a cramp, and when you stop and rest, your vessels reperfuse, the blood comes back, and you feel better, and you're able to walk again. And so, what claudication time is, it measures the moment that you start to feel the pain and then how far you're actually walking through the pain before that pain gets so bad that you want to slow down, but instead you just stop. You stop, you rest, you let it reperfuse. You want to improve that time over time. Secondarily, you want to improve the time from when you start walking to the time where finally that claudication gets so intolerable that you need to stop and rest. And you want to improve those over time. And our app actually measures it, and you can sign up right now for it by going to what is it walking group, PAD walkinggroup.org, I think is the PAD, the 30-day to a 5K challenge that we're doing right now, where you can sign up, you get the app, you get coaching every single Wednesday right now with Kevin Morgan. And we even have sometimes Dr. Chris Seenan, who joins us from Glasgow, Scotland. He's a doctor of physiotherapy, and you get tips and tricks via email. You get to subscribe to Kevin's newsletter as well. So all of the above. So it's really, really awesome. But if you want to download that app and you want to use that app, there's a very strategic way in which you need to use this app. And I know Kevin's used it, but there are a lot of people that are using it wrong. I thought it was intuitive. It was designed by patients. We thought it was obvious, but it's, I guess, not as obvious as you would think. So you grab your phone
Oh, can I make a
and
comment, Kim? Can I make one quick
yes,
comment? Because I
yes,
think it was Ginger commented that she or he has more pain when they stop. When you let the muscle reperfuse with blood, it does hurt a lot if you've taken it to the point of pain sufficient to cause you to stop. And the system Kim is describing is what I call intensity training. The system I generally use is endurance training, which is very different. And it's important to understand the difference. But let me go back and hand it back to Kim, which is basically intensity. You take it until you're forced to stop, then you have to let the blood back in, and that does hurt. That's for sure, but it's a good pain because your blood is getting back into the muscles. Okay,
yep.
Kim.
And you can get to the endurance. The endurance is when you once you've gotten your 30-minute workout and you can get to 30 minutes, you can shop without having pain. Then you want to get into endurance training, right, Kevin? You want to get into the long haul. You
Exactly
want to
right.
exercise for the long term.
Yes.
But for the app, so you have the app, you pull up the app and you click on walking workout because you're going to get started, and then you're going to click on start walking. It'll notify you that you're going to start walking. So you start walking, and there's a button on there that says pain. So you're going to hold the phone until the point when you just feel that first onset of pain. The moment you start to feel that onset of pain, you're going to click the pain button. And the pain button flips to where it says rest. Now, you keep walking, keep walking, keep walking until that pain gets so intolerable that you think you want to slow down, but you're going to stop instead. So you're going to stop, you're going to press the rest button, and you're going to rest, and you're going to toggle the pain level to hopefully a level 7 or 8. That's when you should stop, is when it hits about a 7 or 8 for most people. Different people have different tolerance and measurements and how they view that scale of 1 to 10. But typically it's about a 7 or 8. And then you're going to submit that. You're going to continue to rest until you feel like you can start walking again. And then you're going to click continue. And the cycle starts over again. The moment you start to feel the pain again, even if it's right away, you click the pain button. When the pain gets so intolerable that you need to stop, you go ahead and stop. You press rest. Again, you're going to toggle to the pain level that you stopped, submit, and you just keep doing this over and over and over again for a 30, 45, or 60-minute time period. Now, you may not walk the entire 30 minutes, you may not walk the entire 45, or you may not walk the entire 60. Your doctor should set the goal for you on how long your walking regimen should be. But over time, the goal is that your walking minutes will improve over time. You're going to get to the point where you can walk 30 minutes. You can then walk 45 minutes. You can then walk 60 minutes without having to stop. And when you're done with your workout for the day, you press stop workout, and then you add your symptoms, whatever you were experiencing during your workout, the pain, where the pain is, whatever other notes that are important. We even had someone, Kevin, that at one point put in that they started struggling with breathing while they were doing their walking workout, and it sent an alert to our team, and we called the doctor, and they actually had a 90% blockage in their right coronary artery.
Is
So
that right?
thankfully we were able um to get them in, and thankfully they put the symptoms in there, which I thought was great.
Yeah, it really is.
So we have some, okay, so Douglas is putting a note in chat. The app is a good way to help stay motivated and keep track of claudication. Yeah, thank you, Douglas. And Ginger is saying I was working about 45, working about 45 hours a week, and the majority of what she did was walk all day. She took care of animals at the zoo. Oh, I want to hear stories. One of these days you have to get a microphone, Ginger. I want to hear stories. She took care of the animals. So there was really no stopping. There was, so there was some stopping, some feeding, watering, washing dishes, food prep in that 9-hour day. I had to stop because of joint pain, allergies, and back pain. And does the app cost anything? No, the app is free. But the key is, Kevin, we have a lot of people who say, I'm on my feet all day. I'm always walking. I'm walking to here. I'm walking to there. And I still got PAD. Why is it that I still have PAD? And there are a variety of reasons why you may still have PAD, but I know it seems counterintuitive that if you say that you are on your feet, you're walking all day, that we're telling you you need to walk to get better. And what we mean by that is you do need to set aside a regimented program for 30 minutes each day, at least 3 days a week, preferably 5 days a week, but you should be moving 7 days a week in order to focus on improving your claudication time, improving your time to rest, because then that will translate into your day. People ask me all the time, well, take 20,000 steps in a day. Well, the steps don't really matter. It's not about the steps. And I know that is research that says that you're healthier if you take 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Yes, that just means you're moving. But if you have PAD, you need to do more than just move. Moving is not enough to to stop the progression of PAD. You need to move strategically. You need to work at it. You need to turn your walking regimen into an actual workout, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I think, I mean, my PAD pain started in my calves and my feet when I was running marathons and doing full Ironman distance races. So clearly, walking or running isn't enough on its own.
Mhm.
So I was stuck in this situation. If I wanted to go for a walk with friends, I have to keep stopping because of pain in my calf, and especially my right calf, which is worse than the left. And so thus my journey of working out how to fix this problem began. We're talking 2014, 2015. I had confirmation on ABI in 2015. So I started studying the whole problem. I mean, I'm a pathologist by training with athletic training, whatever. And I started by trying to reduce impact stress, and that helped a lot. I was always already using a low impact running style. My running seemed to be, in the trash, but now that's turning out not to be the case. So in addition to walking, it really pays to change the way you move. And I would say reducing impact helped quite a bit. Using my whole body movement training I've been using for years helped a bit, but I still run into the problem, especially on hills, of my right calf locking up and hurting a lot. And I'd have to stop. My friends would have to wait, or the dogs would have to wait. And then I invented this foot movement thing, and that now allows me on the level to keep walking endlessly without sufficient pain to stop me moving. I would say I have discomfort pain, which is like a 1 or a 2, but I keep going. And after a while, I just forget it's there. And then sometimes it vanishes. But as long as I'm using this foot movement trick, if I don't use it, my calves will lock up within a few hundred yards. I mean, it's quite amazing. And now I'm using it to run, and it's helping. So you have to do everything you can to change the way you move in addition to the walking program. The technique Kim describes is really good training for intensity training. But what you want to be able to do, let's say you're a nurse or you work in a store, I mean, you have to keep walking all day. So you have to maintain a pace you can handle. And I strongly recommend you engage your feet in the process. If you don't understand it, you can always ask here or watch my videos. But that actually, more and more people are writing me to say, or contacting me to say, moving and engaging their feet is really helping. And think about it. What is it you lose first with P.A.D? Your toes. So you want to get
Yep.
that blood right down to your toes. So if you combine those two, walking training intensity that Kim describes, and endurance walking, which you want to do all day, and it really does involve thinking carefully about how you move and how you use your feet. You must have wide toe box shoes. Don't use tube socks. You don't want anything that interferes with blood flow to, through,
Yeah.
and back from your feet. So in addition to walking training as described by Kim, you need to add in walking skill, which is endurance walking skill, and it very much involves the use of your feet, which I've discovered through my own struggles. So now I'm working on it for running. It's harder for running. I've had runners write to me and say, "Can I ever run again?" And my attitude is, "Yeah, I think you can. We just got to work out how to do it by changing pace, changing cadence, whatever." I mean, running is hard anyway, whether you have P.A.D or not. So yeah, combine those two, and you should be able to do your job as a nurse or in a store or wherever you have to walk all day. So you have to do training to improve collateral growth, and you have to do developing the skill of endurance walking at a pain level you can handle to the point you don't even really notice it, which is what I do all day. So I don't know if is that clear, Kim?
I think so. And she said that she's been doing the toe spread and collapse on and off for years. She was actually taught that plus heel drops from an Olympic competitor when she was in her teens. So, but I think she said she was a former smoker and her cholesterol levels were really high. Congratulations on quitting smoking. 20 days ago, she's going strong. Exercise will really help with that. But what you're going to notice is the longer that you've gone without a cigarette, number one, your breathing's going to improve. But number two, is your vessels are going to stop spasming. So I think your walking could get a little bit easier. You might want to also talk to your doctor about any sort of medication that might help in the process to help your vessels dilate. Um, Ginger helps. Ginger is a vasodilator. There are a lot of foods, if you Google them, that are vasodilators that help with the dilation. But there is one medicine that, if nothing else is working, that is part of the PAD management guidelines. And I know we don't promote, medication or anything here, but it is part of the PAD management guidelines to at least try if nothing's working for you. It's called Solostazol or Pletol. And it is an option to have the discussion with your doctor about that. But diet is going to be huge to bring that cholesterol down. But also, Kevin was able to do that through um, exercise and diet. He was able to bring down his cholesterol. So you have to know what's going to work for your body. But it's a great first step that you're here, Ginger, and you are willing to take action, to improve your quality of life. So that's really good. And Douglas is saying sometimes I stand in one place working with his wood burning. He stands there, he does his calf raises. What else can a person do if they're standing all day and they're standing in one place? They're working on something. Like I stand at my stand-up desk. That's where I have my walking pad underneath. And I try to do calf raises. I try to do a little toe yoga while I'm standing there. What else can we do while we're just standing there to help improve our circulation so that our legs actually don't hurt maybe by the end of the day?
You've just got to somehow find tricks to keep moving your hips, moving your shoulders. I mean, it might look like you're dancing on the spot and people might laugh, but that's so what. Um, I do when I have to stand still for a while, I just do my PAD 100 kind of movement of my feet, which really helps. And
Mm,
it's just basically like, it feels like stroking the ground with my toes and then lifting my toes and stroking the ground. I do that now without even thinking. Like now I'm doing it without, I suddenly started while I
yeah.
was and sometimes that actually gets my fingers moving and doing the same thing. my hands copy my feet, which is quite intriguing too.
I
So
love it.
but you've got to keep your body moving. You don't want it stationary. You don't want your hips locking up. Uh, Healthy, strong hips. A lot of this can be assisted by weight training in the gym. You can do, walking exercises, use an elliptical trainer. I find quite good. So if you tack that on where you have the time, that will certainly help. But standing in one place or having to walk all day with PAD is a real puzzle, and it's really tough. I understand that. And so, yeah, I mean, think of a truck driver sitting in a seat all day. They better keep their feet moving or they'll be losing their toes,
Yeah.
because it tends to lock their pelvis and gives them lower back pain due to tight psoas muscles and stuff like that. So certain jobs make PAD really a challenge. And so the trick is, like everything, you have to work around it. Or to use a quote from a movie, The Martian. I don't know if you watched The Martian. I love that movie. About the main character says he realizes he's stuck there for a few years and he's going to have to science the shit out of it. So that's basically what you have to do. You have to science solutions, understand what's going on, understand your muscles, understand your blood supply, and find ways to improve things. And only you have your body. Only you know what's best for your body. So listen to your body and make the movements that actually help.
So she's asking, can you get PAD in your back? You do get PAD in your arms. It's rare, but it does happen. We have seen it in people who have smoked or who are hypercoagulable. So we've seen both. It's definitely something that if you are getting the cramping, not just neuropathy in your arms, but you're getting actual cramping in your arms, it's something that you definitely need to have a discussion with your doctor. In terms of your back, you can get stenosis. It's not considered PAD. It's just, stenosis in your back. But you can develop stenosis in literally just about any vessel in your body. So it's always worth, if you're having symptoms, to talk to the doctor. I am concerned when you do say, Ginger, that you have bad cramping at night in your feet, sometimes your calves and your thighs. A lot of people who end up smoking end up getting some narrowing or blockages in their aorta or in their iliacs in their groin area, and on into their bendy spot, which are called, that's the common femoral arteries, and into the thigh. And so it's really worth, especially if you do have that cramping at night, you want to make sure to rule out advanced stage PAD before you get wounds on your feet. You don't want to get to a point where you have wounds on your feet that are not healing, because that becomes a whole other animal. So you want to go to your doctor, let them know. They will treat, especially if you have rest pain that's waking you up at night and they determine that it is not caused by a nutrient deficiency, it's not caused by back issues, or a mineral deficiency, that it is poor circulation. Usually at that point, they will discuss manually restoring blood flow, either with wires and balloons and or a bypass. Typically, they don't anymore jump straight to bypass, but you do need to make sure you get a couple of opinions from different doctors who have different options available, so you can make the most informed decision for you. You can call our Leg Saver hotline at 833 PAD legs, LEGS. And our team can jump on the phone with you. They can pass you on over to me and we can help. If you need help getting an expedited second opinion or third opinion, or you just need to be seen because you can't get in to see your own doctor, we can help you with that. We can even call your doctor's office and let them know what you're reporting, and we can help see if we can get you expedited in your own system as well. So we're here for you. So 1-833-PAD legs. Ginger, when we're done here, we can hop on the phone and I can help you see if we can get you in sooner rather than later and get that leg artery ultrasound to make sure that you're doing okay. And Mike, go ahead and unmute. It's great to see you joining us. You're out walking and you're out on vacation. And what I love is that even though you're on vacation, you're not taking a vacation from walking is medicine.
No, not at all. Hi everyone, by the way. Yeah, I was just going to get back onto what you were saying before about doing. When I first went to go and see my doctor, and he said that I may have P.A.D. I was like, well, I'd been walking so much on the treadmill. I'd just done like 12 months every single day on the treadmill, and I was like, why have I? How have I managed to get it when I'm quite an active person? I was on my feet. I used to do 12 hours a day working in the emergency room. So I've constantly been on my feet. Obviously, the bad things like my bad diet and my smoking and hereditary as well with problems with my mom. So I kind of get it, but now that I've been walking and walking and walking since I've put my everything into it, I just wanted to let Ginger know that it is possible for you to be able to walk properly and walk a long distance and get yourself a little bit better. You're not going to reverse it completely, but you can progress in a different way. And like Kevin said, it's understanding your own body. It's understanding what you can actually do, what you can put your mind to as well. I've started actually doing runs. I run a little bit now on the treadmill.
Oh, good for you.
I do heel lifts while I'm stood at a red light waiting to cross the road. Like when I'm waiting for the kettle to boil in the morning for my cup of tea, I'll be doing some squats while I'm doing it. So you just kind of get into a routine of this new life, and it just becomes the norm every day. I've been doing it since February now. So, and being on vacation, the first thing I did when I was coming away was I made sure that I knew where all the hikes were, and I knew where I could go for a walk, and I knew how far I could push myself to the point where I could turn around and go back. And I know that it's not about the steps, like Kim said. It's not about the steps. It's about how much you can endure. But the other day, I did 33,000 steps with no pain. So it just goes to show that, I mean, this time last year, I couldn't walk 1,000 steps without stopping and starting. Now I'm just going and going and going without any pain at all. So I'm just wanted to put my 2 pennies worth in. Sorry for rambling on a little bit there. I do apologize.
No, I love that. I think that you bring up some good points when you're, in a new location. It's really nice. I have a friend that I think I mentioned in the last podcast that every time she is preparing to go on vacation, her big thing is swimming. And so she makes sure that no matter where she goes, no matter what time of year, that there is a pool. If it's in the winter, she makes sure there's an indoor pool, but she always makes sure that there's a pool so that she can continue her workout. She doesn't let it get in the way of their vacation, but she uses it as an opportunity to just maintain her own health and keep her rhythm going. Because when you stop a week, you feel it. It's almost like you start all over, right? Especially if you take a 2-week vacation. If you really take that 2-week vacation and take it very seriously, walking should be part of that. I mean, I actually walk more, it seems, when I'm on vacation. But I love that you are saying that it's not just about plotting where the hikes are, the walking trails are, where you could walk to. It's a matter of, especially with PAD, it's a matter of knowing how long you can walk. So can you walk 15 minutes at a certain pace before you have to stop and rest? You want to make sure that whatever trail that you go on, that there's some place that you can stop and rest for 15 minutes or safely, or that you can't, once you hit that 30-minute mark, you're done. Like hello, someone come pick me up. So you want to make sure that you can plot out, okay, I'm going to walk 15 minutes to a certain location and I'm going to walk 15 minutes back. So it's great. Yeah, it's great to plot that out. It's just knowing yourself.
Yeah,
I even tried water running because there's a pool in the hotel that we're staying in. So I went in the pool the other day and tried the water running. It's a bit of a tricky thing to get hold of, but it's I didn't do it pain on, to be honest. But I tried it. It was a bit tricky to get my legs and my arms going at the right movement. So I do need to train a little bit on that.
Yeah, when it comes to the use of the pool, there are really three things that it's very valuable for. Number one is you can get cardiovascular up, even though your legs may be limiting for cardiovascular training. And for people with diabetes, exercise is really important, and PAD is common in diabetics. So a good solid workout with a pool boy in the pool can give you the cardiovascular training you need. Water running will give you all the training you need for walking. So it's basically water walking or water running, a similar idea. And so it will strengthen all the other muscles without the impact. An impact stress is the real bugaboo of PAD. This is why it's easier to walk and run on a treadmill, because the impact is less. Get out on the road and you find it's much worse than you expected, because you've got to reduce impact as your feet land on the ground. And the third thing you can do in order to improve spreading your toes, to spread your feet, to improve blood flow into your feet, is lie on your back in the pool and just kick your feet in gently up and down. I think I made a video of that somewhere on my channel in the PAD playlist. And I find that those things in the pool, kicking with my legs on my back, a typical freestyle kick, spreads my feet a lot. I mean, really a lot, without having to think about yoga toes or any of that stuff. So a pool can be really valuable. Water running is an art. If you watch my video, I describe how to water run to exercise different muscles during the water run. If you need a float aid, then so be it, but you'll get past that after a while. So, yep, the pool is a very valuable tool.
Yeah. I started doing it. I started doing water running. I actually really like it. It gives me a pretty good cardiovascular workout as I'm doing it. So I'll do my walking in the morning, and then I go in the pool late in the afternoon after I've been sitting on my tush all day working. And then I get in the pool and I do my water running.
Yeah, mix and match. Little and often is key. Little and often, and do what you enjoy. I hate getting in cold water, but once I'm in, I'm fine. I've had to deal with that for over 70 years of hating getting in cold water, but I get in anyway. But once I get moving, I don't even notice it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
use what tools, do whatever you enjoy. That is really important. Or
Along
shall
with walking. It's about diversifying, but making sure you do get in the, if you have that intermittent claudication, if you have the lifestyle limiting claudication, you do need to take the walking seriously. You do need to do that. Plan, they say 3 days a week. I still say 5, but if you can do it 3 days a week regimented, that's great. And then jump into doing swimming, jump into playing tennis if you can. Do something else that can actually get your heart rate up, because for most people with PAD, one of the big issues is you're not getting that big cardiovascular workout because you're not walking as briskly as you may need in order to get your heart rate up enough to get the
or
cardiovascular benefits.
if you get a dog, you'll do it 7 days a week.
That's true. You want 22 minutes more a day if you have a dog. So we always suggest, if you can adopt a dog, to adopt a dog. Um, I want to see you though, Kevin, putting your cats on a leash and taking them out. I think that would
Yeah,
be kind of an exciting adventure if we put a GoPro on you as you're chasing the cats.
I have seen people do that. I mean, I was a scientist my whole life, and there's always a conflict between scientists and science managers. And managing scientists is like herding cats. That's the old expression, and it's really true, because you're trying to think outside the system to make progress. But no, I won't walk the cats on a lead. Waste of time.
And Douglas says biking or cycling exercise is also a good way to get out and break up the walking routine, something different. We have this young woman who's in another group. Her name is Monique, and she always talks about, and she was the first person I really heard this from. What she was doing, I thought was really creative, is she does her walking on her treadmill, and the moment she feels claudication, well, she walks through it to the point it's intolerable. She gets off the treadmill, and instead of just sitting and resting, she gets on the stationary bike or on her foot cycle and starts just cycling because you're using different muscles. So she keeps the constant movement going, which I thought was, she said it's really beneficial. So you walk and then you just switch to something else until the claudication goes away. And then you get back on the horse and you get back on and you start, walking again. So that's also a way to do it. But speaking of horses, Kevin, Ginger is wondering about, she's a cowgirl at heart. She thinks she probably could have been a veterinarian at some point, probably should have been a veterinarian, loves animals. So she is aligned with us. We love our animals, but she's asking about riding horses like at a trot and posting. Well, do you think those will help? Won't help the claudication. I don't know enough about horse riding and the exercise that a rider gets in competitive horse riding. Do you have any thoughts or experience with that, Kevin?
Yeah, I did some riding long ago, so I felt a veterinarian and it kind of behooved him to learn how to ride, and I did some dressage riding and stuff like that. The trot is like doing thousands of squats, constantly using your legs. And I imagine if you do it
Mm,
well smoothly, you won't trigger claudication. But if on the way down you put pressure on your lower leg, it probably would trigger claudication. But it's an excellent workout, man. Riding a horse is not like in the movies. I mean, it's actually pretty hard work until you have trained, especially your glutes and quads. And that's what I found anyway. In the trot is, yeah, it's like that. It's, in fact, there seem to be a couple of ways of trotting, but once you get into a canter, oh my God, it feels so good. It's just as smooth as anything. The thing is, horses, having Asperger's, I didn't relate to horses as well as I related to cows. I think it's because horses are much more emotional. I don't know if Ginger would agree with that.
it'd be interesting if she did, because horses, yeah, they're more attached um than to the humans. But I have seen, I mean, I grew up, went to high school with people that have ranches with lots of cows, and they had good relationships with their cows.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
the cows are kind of like, I don't know, I kind of liken them to cats. They're a little bit more independent.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they don't seem particularly emotional unless you piss them off. And yeah, I don't know. I seem to relate to them better.
That's
Um,
funny.
and now the dogs. I mean, we have 3 dogs, and they are very in touch with our emotion. There's no doubt about it. So, but I mean,
Oh
I was
yeah.
a veterinarian who ended up in applied mathematics because I couldn't understand people, um, because they are much more complicated, very capricious. Humans are.
It's interesting. I was just thinking and comparing. So I like being on a boat, I like sailing. And I find that even though it's not a cardiovascular workout when I'm out sailing, that when I'm doing the things and I'm on my feet, you don't realize it when you're out on the boat, but you're really working the calf muscles, the thighs, the buttocks. And I am usually really sore for a couple days afterwards because you're constantly trying, having to balance. It's almost like resistance training when you're on the boat. And I would imagine that that's a lot of what it is on the horse as well.
Similar, yeah, absolutely. Except I get seasick on a boat and not on a horse.
That's funny. Yeah. Um, I actually take lots of ginger when I go on the sailing. There's some great ginger tablets, but ginger tablets work really well not only as a vasodilator but also for nausea. So ginger, take some ginger.
I used to be diving down in Florida, scuba diving, and
Yeah.
I get terrible seasick on the boat going
Oh
out.
no.
I was always the last one to get out of the water. I did not want to get back on that boat. But you've used your air, you got to get out, you got to go in. Yep, seasickness, I've never been able to deal with that. But if I could go to the space station, I would do the training.
And
Yeah,
Ginger answered your question. She said it is different between bovine and equine. So um and then she says, I ask really because my stallion is turning 25 and probably would also benefit from additional exercise. So definitely would be something as good resistance training, right? Alternate, get your walking in, get your resistance training in on the horse.
great training for balance, core, quads, glutes, your feet especially. I mean, it's being one with the horse is a trick, but I'm sure Ginger knows that better than I.
So, and I think Ginger will actually appreciate this. Claudication was first discovered in horses. So they discovered what was considered intermittent claudication um, through horses. So they definitely need to get out and exercise. They do get intermittent claudication, and they also need to get out and improve their circulation, especially as they get older. So they don't have plaque building up in their arteries. I think that's very important. Anyway, well, I think we covered a lot in this session. What do you think, Kevin? Another little plug for your book before we head out. I'm going to finish my workout, and then we have a busy day planned. We have we have our UK, United Kingdom hangout coming up today. We may have nurse practitioner Deidre that's going to talk about the different foods that can actually clean your arteries, maybe clinically proven to clean your arteries. And then we have our general hangout later on today, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the way to my heart. People can subscribe to our channel, but also make sure you check out Kevin's channel, because as he was saying, and we've shown several videos, throughout the course of this podcast, if you want to go and check out his channel, which is Fit Old Dog, there are quite a few more videos that you might want to do. He even does the P.A.D. 100 with you. We only got up to number 40. And so he goes up to 100. And so you can actually save that video, watch it every single day, do the P.A.D. 100 exercises with him, and make sure to pick up his book.
I think,
Right, Kevin?
Kim, I think the first chapter of that book is the most important one, about accepting the situation now, letting go of the past, grieving the past, accepting the fact you have P.A.D. and getting on with it. It's very easy to regret the fact you can't run like you did or walk like you did. You've got to let that go in order to get on with it, and that's what this Collateral Nation is all about. It's all about accepting what you have now and then working with that. And you can see Mike is doing that right now.
Yeah. I love, Mike, that you join us and you're like me and you're just using this time to walk. And I think that if everybody who needed to walk actually used this hour and just even committed to every single Wednesday joining us for this 1 hour, you would see improvements, because Kevin's actually doing a great job coaching you through. You can ask questions as you are in the middle of your workout, keeping in mind he's not a doctor of physiotherapy, he's not your doctor, and we are not here to give medical advice. So make sure you always check with your own healthcare provider before you act on any information that we provide here, because you need the consent of your own doctor who knows your situation best. And before you start any sort of walking or exercise routine, you really should check with your doctor. And you should especially get your heart checked, because 3 in 5 people who suffer a heart attack have PAD. They have peripheral artery disease. If you have blocked arteries in your legs, likely in your heart as well. So get that checked before you start any exercise regimen.
Yeah, I just want to make one more plug for the methods I've been developing. So I don't like to be a vacuum cleaner salesman. I developed P.A.D. in 2014, noticed it during marathons, calf pain, that's when it started. So I worked on methods to try and improve blood flow in spite of that. I've had some success, but I think the best evidence of that is that in spite of really severe P.A.D., a completely blocked popliteal artery on the right, no dorsal pedal pulse, in 2013, I qualified for and competed in the World Half Ironman Championships in Lahti, Finland. I came in third. I was one of only 3 people to finish the race. Only 7 people in our age group, 80 to 84, qualified. And by using these methods, I managed to finish. I missed the cutoff time, but they kept the course open, and they gave me a medal anyway, even though I missed the cutoff by a bit. And so it shows if you change the way you move, in addition to all the training, it's surprising what you can achieve. And I really don't want to lose my interest in triathlons. So that's why I do this stuff. And so 10 years later, nearly 10 years later, here I am still competing in spite of P.A.D. And there's Mike still walking, and there's Kim still talking.
I do. I exercise my mouth more than my feet. I should
Uh,
exercise my feet more than my
No,
mouth.
no, you're very good at this. I'm not. I'm not really very good. I'm not very good at marketing. All I know is Josh is right. You have to tell people multiple times before they get it. That's why I created the latest video, once again, trying to explain the remote blood pumping station method. But yeah, if you do what's right, and your body will tell you if you listen. That's it. And it's great when I hear from people that they say that our work is helping. It makes waking up in the morning worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much. Again, this has been really fun. I always like our hours. I like our Collateral Nation. I love our conversations. Make sure you do go to Amazon and get his book if you can. If you can't afford the book, just ping me at info at padhelp.org. If you can't afford it, we'll go ahead and get it for you and send it your way. It's available across the globe. They print at Amazon's amazing. Amazon will print everywhere. So make sure you do that. Also subscribe to Kevin's channel, Fit Old Dog. You can subscribe to our channel, The Way to My Heart, and go to inspirationalselfhelpbooks.com, and you can get his newsletter, and he sends one out every single week with tips and tricks and information. So it's really, really, really helpful. I just started getting mine. Yay. And also you can, if you want to sign up for the walking app, our 30-day to a 5K is still going on and going strong. So you can go to padwalkinggroup.org and you can sign up for that. You can pick up the app and join us every single week. So everyone, thanks for joining us. Keep walking.
Thank
Every
you, Kim.
step counts.
Thank you for everything.
Sorry. I've got just to remind everyone that I've got that 13K this coming Sunday.
A way to go.
So
Yes.
yeah. So it's this coming Sunday. It starts
We're
at 8
with you
o'clock in the
every
morning
step.
Atlantic time.
13K. Overachiever.
Yeah.
I love
so,
it. I love it.
So I'll let you know. I'll let you all know how it goes.
We
Well,
can't
best
wait.
of luck. And Josh, you're not forgotten. Thanks again.